Hello, in this quick video I'm going to show you how to start your hexagon cardigan the correct way. There are a couple of ways to start your hexagon cardigan. The first way, make a slip knot and chain 4, and then if you now slip stitch into your very first chain, it will create a circle and you can make your first round of stitches inside this circle. This is one way of starting this project, or you can start it with a magic circle. But if you're doing a magic circle, I would do a double magic circle, so it will be a bit stronger than your regular one round magic circle, and we'll make all of the first round inside this magic circle. So let's chain 3 first, and then we're going to make a double crochet stitch into this circle, and then make another double crochet into the circle as well. And after we've done this, this is your first cluster. We're going to chain 2, and we're going to make 3 more double crochet stitches, one right after another, and everything is made into this circle, and that is your second cluster. One cluster is 3 double crochet stitches together, then chain 2 and make another cluster of 3 double crochet stitches. We need 6 of these in total, so let's just keep working. And if you were to work into your circle you did with your chains, it's the same, exactly the same pattern. You're just making these stitches inside that little space what you created when you slip stitched your chain 4 together. Chain 2 again, and another cluster of 3 double crochet stitches. And let's just count them to make sure that we have got the right amount. We have made 6 clusters, and now it's time to close your magic circle. So let's just do that first, but obviously if you made that chain 4 circle, you don't have to do this bit because you already got a small circle. And now we're going to finish off this round. So instead of doing your chain 2 like you did in between every cluster, we're going to yarn around your hook and go in top of that chain 3 from the beginning, and then pull up a loop and then pull through all 3 loops on your hook, and that's a half a double crochet stitch, and that will finish off your round and you end up in a correct place to start your next round. You have an option to start each round by making a chain 3 and counting that as a double crochet stitch, or you can make a stacked single crochet and count that as your double crochet. So you make 1 single crochet first, and then you make another on the top of it through the sideways bar on that stitch, and that's called a stacked single crochet, and that can be counted as a double crochet stitch at the beginning of your round. And then we're going to make another 2 double crochet stitches to make our first cluster, and we're going to build into each of these corner spaces next round of corner spaces. Find your next chain 2 space from round 1 and go straight into there, making your cluster of 3 double crochet stitches. Once you've done that, make chain 2 and into the same chain 2 space we're going to make another cluster of 3 double crochet stitches, and that is a corner space, so it creates these tips and 90-degree corners which you need for this cardigan. So that will be the first corner made. We're now going to move into the next chain 2 space, and so on. We're going to make into each space cluster of 3 double crochet stitches, followed by chain 2, followed by 3 double crochet stitches, all the way until the end. You can pause your video here and come back when you have gone all the way around, making 3 double crochet stitches, chain 2, and another 3 double crochet stitches into each of these chain 2 spaces from the previous round. Once you've gone all the way around and you have made 5 new corners, you get back to that place where you started from, and you're going to have to finish that very first corner by adding another 3 double crochet stitches into this space where you started from, and then we're going to do a half a double crochet stitch to finish off the round, and we're doing this onto the top of that stacked single crochet from when you started the round. And just check that you have got 6 new corners made. We're starting a new round with a stacked single crochet again. Of course, you can replace that with chain 3 or just a normal standing double crochet if that's what you prefer to do. And going to make another 2 double crochet stitches into the same space. And the reason why we're starting our rounds with half a corner space is so that when you join them together at the end, you end up in the correct place to start your next round. For this round, we are not just creating corners, we also have a side to work into. So this will be the side space with no chains in between. So what we're doing there is we're just going to make 3 double crochet stitches into this space between 2 clusters from the round below, and then once we've done that, you're working into that corner space, and you recognize your corner space because it has got chain 2 in there. You can also mark your corner spaces with a stitch marker so you know where they are. And into the corner spaces we're always creating a new corner. So we're going to do a cluster of 3 double crochet stitches, chain 2, and another cluster of 3 double crochet stitches, and that's our new corner made. And the next one will be the side again, so we don't want to add anything there, we want to keep this bit straight, so we're just going to do 3 double crochet stitches, no chains anywhere in between, just straight into that space. And then moving on to the next corner, we're going to do 3 double crochet stitches, chain 2, and 3 double crochet stitches to create the new corner space for the next round. And this is what you will be doing now. So in between all of your 6 corners, you will have a space where you need to just make 3 double crochet stitches on their own without no chains in between, and that's how your work will grow. You will create these sides in between the corners, and you will always have 6 corners, but your sides will grow as your work grows. So you can pause your video here and meet me back when you get to the end of this round. And now we're back to where you started from, and you have got this half a corner made. So we need to add another set of 3 double crochet stitches into that space where you started from. Once you have done that, we're going to join with a half a double crochet to the top of that stacked single, or whichever one you started to start your round off. And your work should be a little bit floppy by now, so let's check if we have done it correctly. You should be able to now fold the piece together in the corners, and you will see how it will start creating half of your cardigan, a sleeve and the side of the body. So it shouldn't lie flat, it should have like this little bit of a kink in it already after 3 rounds. So if that is not the case, you have gone wrong somewhere. So it's good to check it before you've gone too far. You should have 90-degree corners and straight sides in between your corners. Now let's start with the next round, and again we're starting with a stacked single crochet stitch and 2 double crochets into that first space, and that is the half of the first corner. And as you can see, next corner is now a little bit further away, so in between we have to make 2 stitches which are just 3 double crochet clusters with no chains, anything in between them. So make the one of these into the first space and then another one into the next space, just to keep their sides straight. And then once you have done those 2, we're going to move into the corner and create a new corner space. So that is 3 double crochet stitches, chain 2 and another 3 double crochet stitches all into that same space. So that's the chain 2 space from the round below. And as you keep working in between those corners, you're just doing a cluster of 3 double crochet stitches, and keep going like this until you have got all the way around. Again, when you get to the end, we have made this cluster of 3 just to finish off this corner, and half a double crochet to join that end bit to the beginning of your work. And this is how you will be working your rounds now. You're just going to start with a half a corner, work all the way around, and then finish that corner, and then join the 2 ends together with a half a double crochet. And in between your corners in each round you will gain an extra space for the side stitches, so the side clusters, which are just 3 double crochet stitches into the space. So that space hasn't got a chain, it's just space between the clusters, if that makes sense. And in the corners you'll have your chain 2 space, so you'll be creating a new corner into each corner. And occasionally you can just check that your work still folds properly. Hope you have enjoyed this little tutorial. The link to the full tutorial is linked below. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.